Now we are going to start our class. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Last time we started explaining the solitary reaper as an application of the romantic theory. So I would like to make a quick revision of what we did last time so as to continue what we have already started. It is really important to explain to you that as a romantic critic, you are supposed to look for the principles of romanticism in any literary work. In other words, if you are required to write a romantic critical essay about any literary work, what are you supposed to look for? You are supposed to look for the principles of romanticism in that literary work, and to still what is romantic about it. What is romantic about it? For example, to reflect where is the imagination, if there is a primary imagination, where is the subjectivity, right? As well as to explain the interest in the common man and the common place, the state of solitude, and so on and so forth. So a romantic critic would look for the romantic principles in any literary work. And this is what we started to do last time. In the Solitary Reaper, we explained that the title reflects two important romantic principles, which is the state of solitude and also glorification of the common man and the common place. And we also explained that we have a primary imagination because the literary experience is not genuine, is not real, but it is imagined. It is not William Wordsworth's personal experience, but it is the experience of one of his own friends. And we said that it is working on what? Working on the five senses. Imagination, you can see without what? Without eyes, and you can listen without ears, by your own imagination, And also we came to this stanza and we started to explain it as part of the romantic imagery. Good, but something else that I would like to add about this stanza that we already explained, in which he is comparing two natural pictures to each other, That this comparison, it reflects his appreciation of beauty. It reflects his appreciation of beauty. I mean that William Wordsworth, that appreciates the beauty and of the song, of the girl, of the nature as well, but particularly the song. And therefore, because he is extremely influenced by the deep, nice voice of the girl, he said that her voice exceeds or is much better than the voice of the nightingale, which is singing a welcome song to a group of travelers in the Arabian sands. What is this? It is one of the romantic principles, which is the appreciation or a response, exquisite response to the manifestations of nature, He is appreciating it. And this appreciation is part of what? Appreciation of beauty. It is the sense of mystery. When we said we have three types of feelings, either awe or wonder or appreciation of beauty. So the dominant atmosphere in the whole poem, that he already wrote the whole poem because he liked what? The song. He appreciated the beauty of the song, itself. I mean, what is the dominant atmosphere of the whole poem? It is a kind of a response, an exquisite response to the manifestations of beauty, which is really necessary, for the romantic poetry as a dominant atmosphere, Now we will come to another romantic imagery, which is a comparison between two natural pictures, which also indicates further that he is appreciating the voice of the girl. So what is the first picture? The first picture is the girl while she is singing and reaping at the same time. This is the first picture. The second picture, just imagine early in the morning, while the sun is still rising, or maybe started to rise. And there is a cuckoo bird. There is a cuckoo bird. And this cuckoo bird has a thrilling voice. A thrilling voice. And it is so strong to the extent, right, that it can move through seas, till it reaches the far islands in the middle of the ocean, right? The song of the girl was, right, much better than the song of the cuckoo bird, right, which is, right, singing in the early morning and has a thrilling voice and so strong that it goes through the seas to reach the far islands of the Hebrides in the middle of the ocean. This is a kind of exaggeration, but because of what? Because of his extreme appreciation of beauty. This is why we say that it is actually an extreme appreciation of beauty, and this is why he is using the exaggeration in such a, right, a context. So what does he say? A voice so thrilling. Whose voice is it? It is the girl's voice. That her voice is very thrilling and never was heard, right, in the springtime from the cuckoo bird. And it is better than the song of the cuckoo bird, right, during the spring, breaking the silence, while it is early in the morning, breaking the silence of the seas, and goes through the seas till it reaches the far islands of the Hebrides. So the girl's voice is much better. Right. Did you get the point? What is romantic about this? It is a sense of appreciation of the beauty. Something else before I move to the second part of the poem. If we go through the whole poem, we find that the language used is a simple language. In other words, if we want to describe it, the common man language, except for the young, right, and less, which are a little bit what? Not strange, but old. But in general, right, what we say that the language is a romantic language, which is one of the features of Romanticism as well, that bringing the language to the level of the ordinary man language. And William Wordsworth managed to do that, but Samuel Coleridge was not able to do that, and he kept his language different from the language of the common man. Right? Well, right. Will no one tell me what she sings? What is this?
So Wordsworth didn't understand the words of her song.
كل هالقصة وكل هذا هو كمان مش فاهم. كيف لو فاهم? Do you understand what I mean? Because she was not singing in English. She was singing in another language. That he said he was really moved by the beauty of the song. Right? Although, despite, right, that the fact that he doesn't understand even a single word. Right? But he is totally moved. Right? Okay? And this is why he is wondering now about what he doesn't know. Right? What is this? This is a question which reflects the sense of wonder. Which is, right? First, we talked about the sense of appreciation of beauty. Now, we are going into a series of wondering. Right? Wondering about something, it is not necessarily to be in a question form. Right? But maybe you can also wonder about the nature of something by giving it different options and alternatives. Right? So the line here, he's saying, will no one tell me what she sings? Is there anyone who understands what she says and helps me to understand what is she singing about? Right? It means that he doesn't understand. كيف لو فاهم يا باشا? Do you understand what I mean? Yes. Well, fine. So this is the start of the sense of what? Of wonder, and a start of a secondary imagination. Why secondary imagination? Because he will go into a state of guessing. A state of guessing. guessing what is the song about. What is the song about? And in this case, while he is not quite sure, he is wondering about what the song is about. He is wondering what is the song about. And in order to wonder about the nature of the song, he needs to what? To have a kind of imagination. This imagination, we know it is secondary. Why? Because originally he did not listen to the song. يعني انت ما سمعتش الاغنيه وبعدين تقول لنا حد فهمني كلماتها يعني تكون ايش right this is yes Lama you wanted to say something.
Yes, it expresses like the same in our time when we go see operas. Operas are sung usually in Italian or other
Yes.
languages. But people cry and feel a lot.
Right.
That's the message that we're
This is when you listen to the opera. But if you don't listen to the opera, when you imagine that you listen to the opera, it will be a kind of what? Of romanticism. Good. Did you get my point? Well, fine. Okay, so let's come to the first guessing. Perhaps here, a word which is the start of what? Of both wondering and guessing. Wondering and secondary imagination. Right? Perhaps, right? The plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things. Right? Music, right, usually consists of plaintive numbers. Right? Right? What do we call this one? Right? This is the sol key. Right? And right, this is the do, re, mi, fa, la, sol. These are what? These are plaintive numbers. They consist of numbers, right? And there is a degree between each tone and another. Maybe half a degree or maybe a quarter degree, bemol or a dièse or something like that. We call it in music. But in general, the word the plaintive numbers, it refers to the melody of the song. Melody, right? Sorry, the music of the song. Music in order to what? Of the song. Right, so, right? He starts guessing by saying, maybe this song is flowing, right? About old, unhappy, far off things. Right? That the subject matter of the song is, right, a kind of unhappy subject. Right? Which happened long time ago. And battles, and it might be about battles won and lost long time ago, right? And therefore, what kind of poetry which talks about battles, right? So it is the epic, right? It is the epic poetry. So his first guess that the poem is an epic poem that sings a song in order to commemorate, right, the great deeds of heroes, and in which, right, okay, people, they lose the beloved ones. The beloved ones. All right? Right? And therefore, this is another, all right, this is the first guess that the song might be about what? About unhappy topic, old, far off things in the past, and about battles that happened long ago. Right? Yeah. We will come to the second guessing. The second, by the start of what? Of or is it some more humbly? Right? Look at the structure. Right? It is supposed to be it is. But he is not quite sure. He is using it, is it? Right? What is the structure here? Is this a structure of wondering, of asking a question that he is not quite sure of the answer. He is not quite sure of the answer. Is it some more humbly? Or maybe the topic is a humbler topic. Humbler than what? The epic, because the epic talks about what? Great deeds and battles. And therefore he says, maybe the topic is humbler than the topic of the epic, right? About what? Something familiar. A familiar matter. What is the familiar matter? Right? You have to expect that the song was melancholic. The song was, what do I mean? The tone of the song was a sad song. And therefore, what is the normal matter or the familiar matter that makes someone sad in life, that happens today and tomorrow and every day and it will happen forever? It is the death of a beloved person. A beloved person. Maybe a father, a brother, a mother, right? A husband or whatsoever. So he says maybe the topic is a familiar matter, right? Of today, something. And what is this? A question form, which is series of the sense of wonder, along with guessing, which is requiring secondary imagination. Good. Fine. Some, all right, natural sorrow, some natural sadness, something that happens, right? A loss. هحكي لكم إياها باختصار. Which is what? Losing someone that you love. Losing someone, or maybe pain, sickness. If it is not death, it might be sickness that happened in the past and maybe again, and it will happen all the time in the future and forever. And forever. And what do we have here? Question mark. Which is the dominant atmosphere of the sense of wonder. The sense of wonder. Right? فاهمين؟ اللي مش فاهمة ترفع ايدها. هذا هو السؤال الصح. عشان الوحدة لما اقول لها مين فاهمة؟ وقولوا طب ارفع ايدك، بتلاقي نص الصف رافع. لكن والنص الثاني يعني ايه؟ لما نسأل مين مش فاهمة بتخجل ترفع ايدها، فبتضل الكل تمام 100%. Right? Is there anyone who would like me to repeat anything for them? Right? Is it clear?
Yes.
Fine, good. Then he comes to the final stanza. Whatever the theme the maiden sang, whatever the topic of the song that was sung by the lady or the girl, I don't care. I don't? What do I care about?
About her son, her voice.
That I enjoyed,
Yes.
right? I am not really interested, right, very much. Or actually, yeah, it will be better for me to know what she is singing about. But what really matters for me now, that I am enjoying the song and I don't want to make this flow of music to stop, right? Whatever the theme the maiden sang, whatever, right, the topic of the song that was sung by the girl, as if her song could have no ending, right? To me, her song, because of its great beauty, right, as if it will never come to an end. Do you know why? Because I will always remember it. Even if she stops now, but to me, her song will never come to an end. Right? Why? Because it is extremely beautiful and I will carry it with me all the time. As if her song could have no ending. I saw. Now this is the first time he uses the subjectivity, right? Directly. But because of his sense of appreciation and giving his personal guessing, these are, right, kinds of subjectivity. When he guessed about the subject is a kind of subjectivity. When he said oh is a kind of subjectivity. When he made comparison between two images or four images is also a kind of personal reflection, because they are much beautiful than anything else to him, right? And therefore now he is, for the first time in the poem, he is using, right, the first person pronoun, which is I saw. والله ما شفت وإنك كذاب. Because we know that it was not your experience. But here he is emphasizing to us the power of the imagination that works on the five senses. Good. I saw her singing. I not only seeing but also hearing. Right, at her work while she is reaping. And over the sickle, bending, and she is bending over the sickle, which is the tool for cutting the grain, I listen. له خاطر يقول والله العظيم شفته. له خاطر يحلف دي عنده شعر مين عشان يصدقوا يعني. Right? Here again he is emphasizing that I listen. Although we know that he did not listen. Right? Motionless and still. Extreme subjectivity and the primary imagination. Why? Because, right, he doesn't want to disturb the flow of the song itself. I listen, motionless and still. And as I mounted up the hill, right, again, and when she finished, and I mounted up the hill, I wanted to go back. What happened? The music in my heart I bore. I carried the music in my heart. مع إنه إيه؟ ولا سمعها ولا شافها. Right, which is a secondary imagination as well. I carried this music with me long after was heard no more. So I will be able to what? Good. I will be able to what? To recollect it in tranquility. Why? Because I bore it in my heart after it was heard no more, right? That I can recollect it every time I wanted to, and then I will feel the same joy that I experienced when I watched her and I listened to her. Well, let's sum up. How many romantic features have we explained in this poem? All of them except one. What is that? The supernatural strangeness. Right? We explain. I mean, you will find in this poem all the romantic principles. All the romantic principles. Right? Except the supernatural strangeness. Why? Because William Wordsworth was the father of naturalism, while the supernatural was the faculty of whom? Of Samuel Coleridge. Some other people, they will say that we might also find supernatural power in the cuckoo bird's what? Voice, which goes through the seas till it reaches the what? Right, the Hebrides, and this is a kind of a supernatural power, right, that can be expressed. I am not in favor of that opinion. I am not in favor of that opinion. It is just exaggeration. Thank you very much. Right? So we'll find, if we go through the whole principles of Romanticism, they are all reflected in the Solitary Reaper, except for one, which is the supernatural strangeness. Okay? Now, if you are required to make a romantic criticism for any literary work, what are you supposed to do? Looking for? All right. Yes, sister.
Study the stylistics of this literary work and discover the romantic elements of this literary work and the appreciation of nature and beauty, and maybe comment on the stylistics of
And there is something else that I would like you to ask you in particular. Right? I hope that you will go on to answer it. There is something that we discussed inside the class which is related to the definition of the poet. Where can we find the definition of the poet in this poem? The definition of the poet is a man who talks to men, but of a greater sensibility that makes him feel more than others, right? See more than others, and right, what? Express himself deeply. Right, the expression deeply is here, right? But still, where can we find words where sees more than others and feel more than others?
Yes.
In this poem, yes.
Here he talks about something he cannot see, he doesn't see it and listen to it, but he talks to imagination. He goes to upper his imagination deeply when he see and listen to something he cannot see it.
All right.
See something the people cannot imagine it easily.
Good point, yes.
It's found in every stanza of this poem because he neither saw the girl nor heard her.
Good. This is the first one, right? That he used his own imagination in order by the usage of his own great sensibility, right? And the whole poem, it reflects his power as a romantic who managed to feel and put himself in the place of the person who witnessed, right, the incident. Yes, one thing.
So every time he describes the girl or her song, he's actually reflecting his high sensitivity.
Good.
Teacher?
Yes.
I think the second match when he described the losing of his person whom he loves him, because he used his deep feelings to describe what is the pain that the death of this person causes to him.
So it is a matter of a guessing,
Yeah,
right?
matter
That
of
we can find him. Why? Because he feels more than
Yeah.
others. So he came into right sequence of guessing about the topic of the song, right? Something else, yes.
Also, in the simplicity of the subject in general, like it is very simple that he was walking, he imagined himself walking beside the mountain and he heard a bird song. He made a whole bullet about this simple thing. So that described how he could make a bullet about simple stuff, like a bird singing or a simple image that he could, no one, like it's hard to find poets to write about this simple stuff and make a poem about it.
Right. There is something else. Yes, please.
And when the poet said that the music in my heart by her, that shows that the song affected him deeply,
Good.
More than anyone else.
Good. Excellent. Lama.
His extreme deep feeling could be found if I listened motionless and still. So he went from a normal state of just listening to a higher level of feeling where he was completely almost like dead when he was just listening to this music and nothing else.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Also, I see it obviously when he make a comparison between the two imagery, the two romantic.
This is the point,
Yes.
right? When he made the comparison, actually, right? A comparison of someone who can see more than others and feel more than others. When he made the comparison between, right, the image of the girl while she is singing, right, then he imagines again what might be beautiful to a group of travelers in the Arabian sands, right? The song of the nightingale in a shady place, or like the other one, okay, when he makes the imagery, the comparison between the girl while she is singing with the comparison with the cuckoo bird. I mean, this reflects his ability to see more than others and to feel more than others and express himself deeply. And this is a good of expression of what he sees or what he feels in relevance to whom? In relevance to, right, to the song itself, which is extremely beautiful. Well, our coming application will be on a poem that we have it in our book, which is The Daffodils, right? Right. If there is anyone who is really interested in working with the daffodils as a presentation, they are welcome. If not, I will do that myself, and I will get the mark.
Saturday.
Inshallah, on Saturday. Inshallah. Yes, sister. You will do it alone? It would be much better if you are two people, right? If you find a partner, it will be much better. Okay. Well, so after finishing the daffodils, it will be the second example, right, on Romanticism, and we can say that we are done with the second literary theory for this course, right? And the daffodils will be the last work included in the midterm. So the midterm will cover, right, every single word that we already explained till the end of the daffodils, the end of daffodils. إلى هنا نتوقف والله يعطيكم ألف عافية.